Tori, your daughter is in front of our house right now for some reason. Can you explain why this is? I'm sorry, but 6 in the morning is way too early to have her over. And I don't remember inviting her over to our house anyways. Why did you leave her after all, by herself in front of our house? Tori, you need to answer right now.
Ugh, can you please stop spamming my phone? Do you know what time it is? What do you want?
That's my line. Why do you leave your daughter all by herself at a time like this? She was freezing when I answered the doorbell. What kind of mother does that to her own daughter? Where are you right now? And where is Andrea? I'm getting worried about what you might have done to her, judging by what you've done to Valerina. Please, just give me an explanation about the whole situation.
Oh, yeah, about that. I'm leaving Valerina for you guys to raise. She just isn't worth my effort, you know? I hope you guys have a good time together, though. Sorry about the late notice.
What? What do you mean, raise? I don't know what makes you think this is a time to be joking around, but you need to stop. If you wanted us to let her stay at our house, then you should have at least let us know a day in advance. Even Valerina's crying because she thinks that you left her for good.
Well, she's right about crying. Because that's exactly what I mean. I need you to raise her from now on. As in, like, she isn't coming back to our house anymore, so you need to give her food and shelter and education and stuff. She's not our child, she's yours.
What? You can't just leave your child at our house and claim that we have to raise her from now on. That has to be some typical child abuse.
I mean, you could sue us and bring her back to our house, but as you can tell from the situation right now, I do not care about that child, and she's just gonna have a very miserable life ahead. And if you don't take the role of raising her, she'll probably end up at some orphanage and live an even more miserable life. So, it's up to you.
You're sick. How could you do this to this beautiful child? Shame on you.
Say whatever you want. You can either take responsibility in making her happy, or just sit back and watch her life fall apart.
Why are you doing this to her?
Look, as you know, my husband died last month. And as a single mother, do you really think I can afford to raise 2 kids? While working to make money at the same time? Even with the inheritance that my husband left behind, the best I can do is provide a living for one of them.
That's a problem for you to figure out. And abandoning one of them is definitely not the way.
There's only so much that a part-timer can do, you know? I can only feed 2 mouths, and one of those is mine.
Then why don't you ask your parents to help you out a bit?
Oh my god, I hate my parents. I would rather die than rely on them.
How ungrateful of you to say that.
As I've said before, say whatever you want. Please be my guest. I don't care. So, given all of the information that I mentioned above, I realized that I could only raise one child, and the other child should be raised by someone more facilitated, which turned out to be you. Come on, you're my husband's younger sister and Andrea's aunt. Come to think of it, Andrea's basically your own daughter.
What are you on right now? There's no way that you really think that logic is going to justify all of this.
I'm sure your husband is going to be excited about having a daughter, too.
But this isn't our child.
You said that you would support me in whatever way necessary at the funeral. This is the help that I need right now, so I need you to cooperate.
But this is all so sudden and out of nowhere. Have you at least tried to ask for support by the government or something? There's tons of ways to help raise your children. And scholarships and child support.
It's too much of a hassle to go through all of that paperwork. And I don't have the time to be dealing with all of that right now.
You can't tell me that you can't do even that for your own children. Please get your priorities straight. This isn't the same thing as buying a puppy. We're talking about your own child here.
It's just easier to make you raise her. Therefore, it makes more sense to just do that. Come on, quit being so stubborn and help out a sister.
I would have helped you out with all of the paperwork that you needed if you had just said it was what you needed. It isn't too late. Let's go to the city hall together and see what kind of financial support you're eligible for. How could you abandon Ballerina all by herself like this?
I mean, if it came down to choosing one of the two, I'm pretty sure that anyone would have chosen Andrea.
I would never choose one of my kids over the other.
Everyone says that until they're actually demanded to make the decision. Ballerina is always whining about something and never shuts up. On top of that, she's so slow and dull in the mind. She won't do me any good even if I keep her, so I'm letting her go.
Whether a child does you any good or not, it's a parent's responsibility to love and protect the child. How dare you label your own kids like that?
You can say whatever you want, but when it comes down to making a choice, the answer is always obvious. Andrea never complains, and she's always smiling. She is so unproblematic, so I'm sure she has a far better chance of making it in any type of job. Therefore, I'm investing in her.
What do you mean by investing in her?
I'll raise her for now, and once she's able to get a good job, she can make all of the money, which I'll live off of. It's a great plan, isn't it?
You're really going to isolate your daughter from her sister and make her work like a slave? Are you serious?
Of course I am. They say work smarter, not harder. This is my smartest way out of being poor.
You're crazy.
I'm really not. It's the child's job to take care of their parents. And Andrea has a far better chance in making lots of money. Therefore, it's only natural that I put in more effort for her instead of Ballerina. That's why I gave you the stupid one. Good luck raising her!
I've never met anyone as obnoxious as you. You know that? I feel horrible for Andrea for being chosen and forced to stay with you. Our family has our own plans too. We can't just take Ballerina in and make it work. Please just come to our house so we can discuss all of this. If you can't come, then I'll drive Ballerina over to your house. Which would you prefer?
What about neither? Andrea and I are moving today. So, I'll never see you again. Sorry.
What?
We can't afford to keep living in the apartment we used to live in. So I decided to take my daughter and move into a cheaper place. It's a bit far away from here, but my friend owns the place so I can live there for practically free. Isn't it amazing? That friend's gonna introduce me to a new workplace too. So I'm basically well off at my new location. We're resting at a restaurant by the highway right now, so I won't be coming back.
So you're just texting me to stall until you got on the highway?
I mean, you would have brought her back if I left you an option, so... Come on. When you come to think of it, this is the best for all of us. The girl wouldn't have been treated well if she was stuck with us. And you like kids. It's all for the best.
A parent is supposed to give their life to stay by their child, not to sell them away because they don't need them.
Well, I guess I'm not your practical parent then. Look, the house that we used to live in isn't ours anymore. And I have no intention in coming back. So, might as well have fun raising the girl. She's a bit dull, but she's still fun to mess with. You got this.
This has to be illegal in some way. Hey, don't do this to your daughter. Don't do this to us. Just tell me where you are right now. I'll head there, so please just tell me.
Not a chance, honey. I know you're trying to push Valerina back to me. Won't let that happen. She's yours now, so treat her well. I hope y'all have a happy future together. Bye-bye.
I'm not done with you. Hey, Tori, you don't have to do this.
Hey, Bella. Long time no see, right? How have you been?
I'm sorry, who is this?
Oh, don't tell me you've forgotten about me. It's me, Tori. You know, your legal sister. The wife of your older brother? Come on, we both know you remember me. Quit playing dumb.
I actually do not remember you. Or maybe it's just that I'm instinctively dismissing the existence of the horrifying person who abandoned her own daughter after my older brother died 10 years ago? Neither me, my husband, or our beloved daughter Valerina can recall you. Sorry.
See, you do remember. How have you been? I can't believe you actually went out of your way to raise her instead of abandoning her. Props to you, girl.
What do you want? After all of these years, without giving us a single call or text. Not even checking on Valerina at all. The audacity you have to be talking to us right now. Don't tell me you've reached out to us after all these years just to check on her. She doesn't need you anymore. She understands well that you don't care, and that we do.
Why would I go out of my way just to do that? I'm not as bored as you might think.
What do you want then?
Can you give Valerina back to me?
What?
She's already 15 and she's not a child anymore. So I'll have her work for my friend's store. Starting next year, so I need her back.
Are you hearing yourself right now?
Of course I am. Loud and clear.
Then I'd assume that even a crazy person like you would understand that I would say no, right? You're the one who left her behind at our house in the first place. You have no right to be asking us to let her go back to being with you. She's practically a daughter to us, and we would never make her go through such a thing.
Yeah, I get it. As much as I'd like to say you're right, I really need another worker right now. So please, give her back.
What happened to your other worker?
Oh, Andrea? Well, she ran away from me last night.
Ran away?
Yeah. I started online gambling as a game to pass some time, but I got a bit carried away. And now I'm stuck with a bunch of debt. So I told Andrea to work instead of studying for college. And she ended up running away.
What the hell are you doing? Is it that hard to be a decent parent?
Apparently so. So, can I have Valerina back?
What kind of adult would let a child enter that environment? No. My answer is no. So please don't contact us ever again.
Okay, let me rephrase it. I'm demanding you to give me my daughter back. You have no right to say no to this request. She's not your child. She is my child, and I have the legal rights as her parent. And Valerina has the responsibility to help me pay back my debts as my child. Got it?
Actually, Valerina is our child. Legally.
But I never signed any papers.
As soon as you left her with us, we went through legal procedure to adopt her. So now she's ours, and we have no right to hand her over.
What?
She is our daughter of my husband. So good luck paying back all of your debts alone.
What? You can't just do that. Without the permission of me? I'm her mother. She is my daughter by blood. This whole thing should be illegal.
It really isn't. There's a way to adopt a child without permission of the parent. I won't go to any specifics since you probably won't understand any of it anyways. But we were legally admitted as eligible for becoming family through court. And you and Valerina are legally strangers.
You're lying! You can't do that! I'm her real parent. She still has to listen to me.
Actually, she doesn't. We didn't just adopt her. We went through a foster care adoption process, which basically means that there is no legal tie between you and your daughter anymore. This actually requires the agreement of a real parent. But since you were gone for so many years, the court decided that you were incompetent in making a decision upon this case. Therefore, we didn't need your agreement to make the decision to go through. Valerina is our child, and I will protect her from you with my life. You will never lay a finger on her ever again.
Then who's gonna help me pay back my debts? I can't just do it on my own. How am I supposed to get out of this?
I guess you're going to have to work on your own. You can't just keep relying on your kids and other people, including them, forever. Just help yourself, and you'll be fine.
Then what was the point of giving birth to 2 daughters? There's no point in having kids if they're useless to me when I need them. I won't let this happen. I will not allow this. You know what? You need to resolve the adoption, go through the legal procedures, and make her my daughter again.
No way. I don't like paperwork, and I'm too lazy to go through that whole process, so...
Quit messing around! I'll be on my way to bring Valerina back. You better be ready.
Where are you headed to?
To your house!
Do you know where our house is?
The place I dropped Valerina off 10 years ago?
I'm sorry to tell you this, but our family actually moved to another state a few years ago because of my husband's work. So you won't find us at our old house. Sorry.
What? How dare you move without telling me? This is my kid that you're dragging with you. I deserve to know where she is whenever I want.
Again, she's not your daughter.
Why is it always me? Why do bad things always happen to me? Why can't everyone just do what I ask them to do? Help me, please. I can't pay off my debts alone. I'll be stuck working for the rest of my life.
As strangers, we have no responsibility to helping you. Sorry.
Why not?
Why don't you take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, have I really done nothing to be deserving this right now? I'm sure you'll be able to get yourself an answer. Since I'm done addressing this situation, I'll be going now. I'm sure neither I nor Valerina will ever be seeing you again. So, farewell. Apparently, Tori tried to go and look for Valerina and Bella, but wasn't able to do anything since she couldn't pay for the gas to get anywhere. After that, she tried to work her butt off to pay back her debts, but ended up borrowing even more money because of her online casino addiction. After reaching out to illegal sources or money laundering, she was caught by the members of a gang and was forced to work as a prostitute. After acting upon impulse, Tori ended up getting herself in a living hell situation. Not that she didn't deserve it. FYI, Andrea was taken to her grandparents' house after a few days since she ran away from her mother. And now she lives with her grandparents and goes to high school like any other student. Valerina is also a high school student now, and she's pursuing her dreams as a nurse, going to school every day with her friends. In the end, I'm extremely grateful that everyone ended up at a better place, and I think everyone other than Tori is glad about how things ended up.
Hey sis, I'm pregnant!
Huh? Oh, I see. That's great. Congratulations.
I forgot to tell you, but I'm 8 months gone.
Wait, what? 8 months already?
Yep, I'll be having a home birth at Mom and Dad's place tomorrow. See you there.
Tomorrow?
You got a problem with that?
No, I mean, it's great that you're doing a home birth at your mom and dad's place, but I just wish you'd have told me this a little earlier so I could have had a chance to adjust my plans.
Excuse me? Since when did I have to get permission from my sister-in-law for everything I do? Are you my boss now? Anyway, you've been married to my brother, what, like 10 years now? How is it that you still haven't had any kids? I don't know whose fault it is, but there has to be something wrong with one of you. So, who is it? Are you a barren wasteland, or is he shooting blanks? In any case, I'm being kind enough to let the two of you look after heavily pregnant me tomorrow. Think of it as kind of like preparation for if you two ever manage to conceive. You better treat me well. I want to see the gratitude in every word, facial expression, and gesture.
Why me?
Because you're my brother's woman, obviously.
Right, I see. So you'll be arriving tomorrow afternoon?
That's right.
Got it.
Anya, sis, are you there? Hey, respond now. My room's like covered in dust. Did you really think this is acceptable? This is the room my little boy's gonna be born in, and you have the nerve to leave it in that state? Will you please get it cleaned up ASAP?
Sylvie, I'm at work right now.
What? You call that work? Don't make me laugh. You're just holed up in your room like always. Mom and Dad were complaining about how you're always up there typing away on your computer like some video game addicted, cave-dwelling beast.
I've told you this countless times since coming home, but I work from home. I can do my job entirely from my bedroom. Just because I'm at home during the day doesn't mean I'm lazing around or have nothing to do. If anything, I'm busier now that I was back in my office days. I'm not opposed to helping look after you while you're pregnant, but there's a physical limit to how much I'm able to do.
Excuse me?
I understand you're heavily pregnant, and I understand you can't move around as well as you used to. But that said, you can still do some things for yourself, and you don't need me waiting on you hand and foot 24/7. Not only that, but your mom's always around if you need her. Please stop trying to force everything on me.
Wow, how dare you? Are you seriously trying to force your duties onto my elderly mother? How despicable. That's just bullying, plain and simple. You're bullying your mother-in-law. Who knew my sister-in-law had such a rotten personality? It's such a shame. I used to think you were nice back then when we first met, but it seems like you got too comfortable with my brother, and now you think you can say and do whatever you like. It's scary. Are you gonna bully me too? I'm gonna feel like super uncomfortable around you now.
Oh, give me a break, Sylvie. I'm hardly telling you and your mom to do everything, am I? All I'm asking is that you do the things you can do by yourself, and that she help with the things she's able to help with.
You're so horrible! How could you be this mean-spirited? You're like some kind of movie villain. You're twisted! Wah! Wah!
Actually, I'm the one who wants to cry.
Hey, Anya. Everything okay?
Hey, Charlie.
I heard from an old classmate who lives in the same neighborhood as my folks. Apparently, my little sister moved in with you guys when I got transferred away for work, and you've been having a real hard time of it lately. Is it true? Is everything okay, Anya? What's going on?
Well...
My sister and parents have always had a poor attitude towards you. I know that. But I did tell you to tell me if anything happened with him, didn't I? You could talk to me about anything.
I'm sorry. I didn't want it to affect your work badly in any way, so I kept it to myself.
Don't be silly, babe. You need to think about yourself sometimes, too. Everyone at work's really understanding, so please don't worry about that. What actually happened?
Apparently, Sylvie fell pregnant and came back to your folks' place for her home birth.
Wait, what? My sister is pregnant? Since when? That's the first I've heard of it.
Oh wow, you mean she didn't tell you either? She says she's 8 months gone already.
8 months?
Right? I was surprised too. She only told me the day before I came back home. Then she basically ordered me to go to your folks' place, where I was apparently obliged to be your personal servant, carer, and waitress, and expected to cater to her every whim at a moment's notice. Naturally, your mom and dad always have her back 100%, so I'm basically stuck in a house where it's constantly 3 versus 1. To tell you the truth, I'm finding it a little difficult. On the other hand, she most certainly is very pregnant. And out of consideration for the baby, I don't want to do anything that might cause her stress. I feel kind of trapped.
Oh no, Anya. I think maybe it's best you come and stay with me. How does that sound?
Huh?
I know you stayed there to begin with because you had your own job to think about, and my transfer was only ever meant to last a year at the longest. But you started working from home after I moved away. Which means you don't necessarily need to be in that house for work, right?
You do have a point. I've been working from home for about 6 months now, and what with everything that's been going on in the world, upper management decided recently that this style of working would be made permanent.
Well then, surely we can make it work somehow if you come out here to live with me. Besides, if you come soon while I'm still away on transfer, it'll be easier for us to figure out where we want to live next after my transfer period comes to an end. And at that point, we can just up sticks and leave together.
You make some good points. I'm gonna talk to my boss about this. I am technically classed as a remote worker, but I do still have to go into the office 2 or 3 times a month. The company covers my travel cost, but if I was to come and live with you in Delaware, they'd be covering plane tickets, which I kind of feel like I should let them know about in advance. You'd also have to make your place work from home suitable before I arrived.
Ah, I see. I never thought of that stuff. You're right. It's best we have all of our bases covered. One thing I can guarantee you is that the internet here is about as fast as it gets. I can convert the spare bedroom into a study, too. Just say the word.
In that case, I'm pretty sure they'll give me the go-ahead right away. I have a few loose ends to tie up and some things to pack, though. So would you mind waiting a little longer?
Sure thing. I just want you to know that you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, Charlie.
Sylvie, I made up my mind. I don't need you.
You don't need me?
You were so lively and cheerful when you came back to stay with us. It seemed like you had nothing to do, so I thought it only made sense to have you wait on my every move. But you haven't been looking after me at all. I actually feel worse off for having you around.
That's hardly my fault when I have work to do, is it? Do you want me to get fired? I always go out of my way to keep an eye on you and make sure you're comfortable and have everything you need when I'm not working.
Not good enough. I'm simply and not satisfied with your service. My mommy will be taking care of everything from here on out, so you needn't bother coming near me anymore. Get out of this house right now. You're a negative influence on me and my baby. If you stay here even a second longer, it'll probably come out disabled. My morning sickness gets 100 times stronger every time I see your repulsive face.
Huh? Weren't you saying the other day how pleased you are that you hardly get morning sickness at all?
Shut up! I don't want to hear another word from you. Get out, get out, get out! Let me make this clear. Your very existence itself irritates me. Get out of this house at once, you barren wasteland of a woman. You couldn't even give my big brother a baby, could you?
You should know I'm never coming back if you change your mind and regret this. You won't be my problem anymore.
I never want to see your gross, disgusting face again.
Thanks for saying that. I'm actually more relieved to hear that than you could know.
Huh?
I've decided to go and live with Charlie in Delaware. I'm really grateful for your blessing. I was kind of stressing over how you might react, but with still not having give birth and all.
Huh?
Anya? Are you on your way now?
Hey, Charlie. Yeah, I'm just getting ready to board the plane. I'll lose signal, but it's not a long flight, so I should be back with you in an hour or so. Then, 3 trains later, I'll be knocking on your door.
Anya, listen. I just received word that Sylvie's been rushed away in an ambulance.
Wait, what? Why?
Apparently, she started getting severe stomach pains after eating my mom's cooking.
Your mom's cooking? Oh no, 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 no. She didn't, did she?
Yeah, I think she did. It's always been a rule in our household to check that the ingredients in Mom's section of the fridge aren't out of date or rotten before using them. No exceptions. It's been over 8 years since Sylvie flew the nest to go live on her own for college. And I'm guessing she totally forgot about Mom's unsanitary culinary habits.
Oh my, I think you might be right. I'd been cooking all of her meals since the moment she came back. Come to think of it, I don't think your mom cooked for her even once.
Not only that, but you've been cooking all of our family's meals for the last 2 years. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, without fail, every single day. Your food's not only delicious and safe to eat, but you made everything with a healthy balance of vitamins, nutrients, and minerals in mind. My family's probably never been this healthy. As a result, I think they might have let their guard down. They took your cooking for granted, and then when you were gone, well, this happened.
Obviously, I hope Sylvie's okay, but how's the baby? Have you heard anything?
Last I heard that she was experiencing labor pains and that she was most likely going to have the baby prematurely at the hospital.
Oh no, isn't that bad?
It's not great, but don't worry, you don't have to go. I took an emergency vacation from work, and I'll be heading down on the first flight tomorrow morning.
Are you sure? I really don't mind.
I think it's for the best you don't. I can just see it now. My sister hurling nonsensical abuse at you from her hospital bed the moment you walk in about how this is all your fault. Things might change and we might need you to come on short notice, in which case I'll contact you. But for the time being, I'd really appreciate it if you could just hold tight.
Okay, I understand.
Hey, Anya. I'm sorry it took so long messaging you.
Hey Charlie, it's fine. How's Sylvie and the baby? Are they both okay? I've been really worried about them.
The birth went by without a hitch. I have a healthy 8-pound baby nephew. Sully's fine too, but how to put this? Another problem seems to have emerged.
Another problem? What happened?
Okay, so you know how Sylvie's husband is white?
Yes?
And you know how Sylvie's also white?
Yes, of course. What does this have to do with anything?
The thing is, the baby's black.
What?
Anya! Anya! Hello? Anya? Please, will you come back? Pretty please with a cherry on top. My brother knows how to cook for himself. He'll be fine on his own. You'll be able to come back, won't you? Won't you? You should be prioritizing me and my little boy. I'm in the mother of all pinches here, Anya. Please! Oh my god, how did things get this way?
Hello, Sylvie. I'm glad to hear you and your son are okay. I hate to have to tell you this, but even if I was to come back, I wouldn't be able to look after you like I was doing before.
Why not?
Things at work started going great when I moved out to Delaware to be with Charlie. He's really understanding of my remote work situation and goes to every effort to accommodate me. We also split the housework evenly. He's such a darling. I feel lucky to have him.
But I'm struggling here. How can you live with yourself being all happy and content like that when I'm out here struggling? Looking after a newborn baby is so hard, you wouldn't believe. My gosh, how do people even do this? Not only that, but Mom's cooking is so bad, I fear for my life every time I eat.
Your mom's cooking?
It seems like me getting rushed away in an ambulance wasn't enough to make her learn her lesson. Because she insists on making me her special dishes every day without so much as a glance at expiration dates or whether there's a mold on the ingredients. I had no choice but to start cooking for myself. Can you imagine if my little Tyrone ate something she concocted? Not only that, but I caught her force-feeding him honey from a bottle with "not suitable for infants" clearly written on the label. He's only supposed to be on breast milk, but she keeps trying to feed him additive-riddled grown-up food. And rotten additive-riddled grown-up food at that. That woman is dangerous. My dad lacks a spine to do anything but look the other way and pretend it isn't happening, so he's no help either.
Where's your husband in all this?
He divorced me. Ugh, don't ask the questions you already know the answer to.
I see. So we really did end up divorcing over that, huh? Well, what about little Tyrone's real dad? What happened with him?
I don't know. He disappeared.
What?
Forget all that. None of it matters now. The point is you need to come home. You need to come home now. My ex-husband wants nothing to do with me. My only choice now is to raise him at my parents' house while trying to avoid either of us being hospitalized again by my mom's lethal cooking. The only people who were ever capable of keeping this place in functioning order were you and my brother. Please, me and Tyrone need you. Stop your complaining and just help us already. Ugh!
Nope, sorry, but I really can't do that.
Why not? I'm begging you here. Have you ever seen me like this? Have you? I'm not doing it for fun, I promise you. Please, I'm desperate here.
I have a question for you, Sylvie. Did you notice how unhealthy living with you made me?
Huh?
Not only did your mom force me to do all the housework and cooking, but when you showed up out of nowhere, so pregnant you were ready to burst and demanded I be your live-in carer going on slave. To make matters worse, none of you seemed to understand the meaning of remote work and interrupted me upwards of 20 times a day, resulting in me barely ever getting anything done. My body was sending me desperate signals to get out. Then Charlie sent me a lifeboat and invited me to live with him, so here I am, finally recovering while being reminded what it's like to live a normal life. And you suddenly demand I throw all of that away to come back and live with you guys in the madhouse?
You can't blame us for that. I bet you just weren't looking after your health properly, or not scheduling properly or something. That's got nothing to do with us. Don't you dare try and blame your poor lifestyle choices on me and my family.
I see. Yeah, there's no way I'm coming back.
Why?
Good luck with everything. Goodbye. My in-laws agreed to let Sylvie and the boy with the mystery father stay with them indefinitely through gritted teeth, since she genuinely had nowhere else to go. But I hear her relationship with the two of them is more tense than ever. In spite of that, her mom and dad are still the only people in the world she has to rely on. But her mother, being the worst combination of slovenly and stubborn conceivable, is even worse at child rearing than she is cooking. The hostile atmosphere that fills the house day in day out as a result of mother and daughter constantly locking horns is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Upon seeing the horrific state of things, one of Sylvie's dad friends suggested they left Tyrone in the care of a foster home run by a lovely couple he knows. Apparently, Sylvie wasn't opposed to the idea. Little Tyrone's innocent in all this, and the thought of him growing up in such an unpleasant atmosphere turns my stomach. I was relieved to hear about the plans to put him up for adoption. As for Sylvie, she owes heaps in compensation to her ex-husband, so she'll have no choice but to return to the world of work soon enough. Something tells me she won't be getting much time to rest from now on.